A lot of stuff to catch up on. Let's see here. Best IPS FreeSync monitor. I don't know. I'm using the TN equivalent of Asus's, was it PG297Q? Some weird model number. The IPS counterpart is a beautiful display. I've seen it. I just didn't buy it because I was too cheap. I just chose TN because, I mean, who looks at their monitors from over here, you know? 1050 Ti Squad, ain't nothing wrong with that. Nice beard. I don't really call this a beard. This is just scruff. It's not all the way there yet. Oh, we got a donation here. Check that out. 10, what is that, New Zealand dollars or something like that? That's cool. Just bought an A6. Good choice. It's a V6. I like that. Economical. What'd you say here? Just want to know if you still like yours. Oh, yeah, I still like it. So I have, it's an S5. It's a V8 4.2. So all the FSIs, for the most part, end in like 0.2s. So 3.2, 4.2, 5.2 FSI. And it's a strong car. No problems mechanically to date, and I hope it stays that way. And of course, now that I said that, something's going to go wrong tomorrow. We'll see how that works. CyberPower PC's good. Yeah, they actually, AMD sent a CyberPower PC for review. I have one on the channel. You should check that out. How much money do you have? Not a lot. I just got out of college, so I don't have a lot of money. Hey, Greg, what do you do for a living? Work? I do this. I do stuff like this. This is actually like this is my job. My sole income comes from stuff I do on social media platforms. Let's see. Ultra wide versus 4K. I have a video actually on that as well. Not on the two versus each other, but I prefer ultra wide, frankly. 4K looks good up close, but from where I usually am sitting from my monitor, the difference between 4K and 1440p is not substantial enough to justify the higher price, as well as the usually lower refresh rate for an equivalently priced monitor. So 4K 60Hz monitor, I wouldn't opt for that. I would go for the 1440p same size panel at 144, 165 Hz. That's what I would do. Let's see here. What we got? Oh, another $5 donation from the same dude. All right, cool. For me, the Audi I bought from dealer, and they just had to pay $6,500 to fix the car. Ouch. Got water in them. Wait, you had to pay $6,500 for a headlight swap? Dude. And then see, the problem is because it's all German, it's a pain to fix anything in any of those cars. I just swapped the exhaust system in mine, and that was a pain too. Literally, like, we had the lugs on the, like, facing the inside of the engine, so we had to kind of like maneuver back there and try to get those things off. It was a big pain. Let's see. Sahil says, Greg, GTX 1060 or RX 570? Depends. Yeah, Twitch is Twitch. I prefer the software of the 1060. I like NVIDIA software, although it has gotten pretty trashy lately. I still like Shadowplay. I use that a lot. So that's what I would go with. It's a little pricier. It depends on how much you want to spend. 570 though, it's a really solid card. I've benchmarked a 580 and a 480, and for the price, those are probably the better bang for the buck, just from raw performance standpoints. Let's see. Hey Greg, hold on, I saw that donation. There we go, $10. Thanks to the guy 6020665. It's a long name. Hey Greg, it's Raymond. Just thought I'd show some support. Wait, no, this is Raymond. Is this? I have a friend, Raymond Shen. I don't know if this is Raymond Shen or not, but you know Raymond Shen well? I don't know, you might not know him, but he was like super smart, like math genius. Like the guy knew his math. Like him and my brother were the math guys. I was just like interested in sciencey stuff. But Raymond was really smart dude, and I kind of lost touch with him after middle school just because he went to a different high school than I did. But we were catching up a few days ago. So thanks for stopping by, Raymond. I appreciate that. And for the support, by the way. Greg, I love your videos. Thanks, Nicholas. Let's see. Someone says, why did you start YouTube? I did it because I was bored as heck over one summer. I had to take some summer classes in college, and I was super bored all the time. And I'm not the kind of person who goes out and parties and does all kinds of stuff that typical teenagers and, you know, early 20s males do. So I decided to start a YouTube channel. And at the time, I had 100 or 200 so subs. I was just uploading sciencey stuff that I was researching just on my own that I wanted to share with people who were interested in the same things I was. How's McLevin doing? Scott D. McLevin is doing okay. I haven't hung out with him too much lately. He's been super busy. The guy works a lot. That is Raymond. Hey, Raymond. Raymond was confirming that it was him. Yeah, no, he's a super cool guy, super smart. He's very humble, but he's a really smart guy. Let's see. Is the R5 1600 a good CPU, and can it stream? It can stream. I mean, it can stream about as well as an i7 can, I would say. I haven't done exact testing, but I mean, you got more cores than the i7, and you got decent overclocks too. So I would say around 4 gigahertz R5 1600 should be a decent streaming CPU, especially for a budget-oriented consumer. What was the other question? I was supposed to answer a question from somebody else. I completely cut them off. Something about, I don't even know. I lost it. Oh, McLovin. McLovin's doing well. He's just really busy, but we're trying to push him into making more videos, because I think his videos are pretty awesome, and more of you guys need to support him. That'll encourage him. If you guys go over to his channel and subscribe, he will want to do more videos. Like, it's just been, he's been working a lot, and I think that sub boost or the view count boost would really encourage him. Where do you get your hair cut? So I actually, for the most part, cut my own hair, which nobody believes, but I seriously, like, I'll stand in front of a mirror and I'll use scissors and I'll use a razor for like the back and the sides and stuff, and I'll cut my own hair just because it's free. My mom used to cut my hair all the time because that was free. I didn't want to go pay a barber if my mom could do it for me. Yes, my mommy cut my hair, but hey, I gotta save some money, and she did a good job, to be frank. That's we got a $1 donation from LOL Corporation. It's a very interesting name you got there. Can you give me a channel shout out, please? Yo boy Leo, and how old are you? So Yo Boy Leo asked how old I am. I am 22. I will be 23 at the end of October. Most people find that shocking. Like, they're like, oh, you're pretty young. We thought you were older. I always thought I looked my age or younger than my age. So I don't know. I guess I'll take that as a compliment. Let's see. You do a good job for cutting your own hair. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Let's see. Refresh rate for phones. I don't know what that, are you just asking what I think about refresh rates for phones? I mean, 120 hertz would be pretty sweet on a phone panel, but let's be real. I mean, other than like that new iPad that came out with that higher refresh rate, I'm not sure if it's all viable yet from a financial standpoint. I'm sure the technology exists. It's just getting that expensive tech into a phone that is affordable for the general consumer. Let's see. Louis Cano. Sorry, man. I've said this in the last live stream, but I can't and I won't talk about politics or religion or anything that's super controversial on the channel. So I can't answer your question. I do appreciate your donation. I hope you don't feel like it went to waste. But I stay away from all that because it's just a firestorm. No matter what side you're on or how you try to justify your point of view, you'll always end up pissing off at least half of the population. Let's see. Bruce Lane asks if I'm going to Dragon Con. I don't even know what that is, dude. So the answer is no. But I'll look into that because do you know what that is, Will?
I don't know what it is.
Huh.
Kind of like Comic-Con or something.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Any con like that, it's just like, those are actually pretty cool events from what I've seen. I've just never been to one, so I would like to go. Maybe that'll be my first one. I'll look into it. Christopher Calvary, $5 donation. I appreciate that, man. Just ordered all the parts for my first build, but I don't know what to do after it's put together. What are the first steps for actually getting it working? So, assuming you've got it all wired correctly and it actually powers on, the next step would be to install your operating system, maybe Windows, maybe Linux, depending on what you want to do. You could even throw a Hackintosh build together after it's assembled. It just really depends. But I will say that if you want to install Windows, then I have a video about showing you how to do that. So if you want to watch that video, you can do that. Whoa, Fractal Design, $89.99. What is that? Hoping you have a majestic AF weekend. Meshify on Winky Face. That's surprising. That's really cool. Actually, I think that the Meshify C is being sold for that price or cheaper. I mean, it's actually a really good price. I didn't know that going into the review because it wasn't on Newegg or Amazon yet because the NDA had just been expired like when we uploaded the video, but that's a really good price of Meshify C, and that's what this one is right here. Let's see what we got here. Woo's ballin'. I don't even know what I just read. Let's see. Fractal. Yeah, no, that's really cool. Fractal jumped in. I didn't expect that at all. Do you watch Dragon Ball Super? No, but my brother does. Actually, both of my brothers do. They're both younger than I am. One's a year younger, one's 3 years younger. But they watch Dragon Ball a lot, and I every now and then I'll watch it. I'll watch like the fights. The fight scenes are pretty cool, but they just drag everything out. I don't know. Let's see. GTX 1070 or Vega 56? Vega 56 or GTX 1070? That's a tough one. Again, I always try to tip in favor of the better bang for the buck card, and if you're willing to do some overclocking and you're willing to eat the extra power consumption from Vega 56, it looks promising. But look, the way I see it is you shouldn't have to overclock these cards and undervolt these cards the way that you have to undervolt Vega 56 in order to get it to be more powerful and stable enough to pass the 1070 in most of the benchmarks. So it really just depends on how much time you want to put into it, but it looks pretty compelling. The price needs to drop just a little bit though, in my opinion. You know what I'm going to do? For that $89 donation Fractal just did, I just thought of this, but this is a good idea. So we're going to actually give that away. So that donation there, 90 bucks, I'm going to donate that to one of you guys in this chat, and we'll find a way to contact you. We'll work on that. We'll get something ready to go. But that donation from Fractal, I want to donate to one of the people watching the stream so that they can buy their own Fractal Define Mesh IC. At least that's what I hope you do, because it's a good case. And it literally, like, one of the best I've reviewed. A few things I would change, but for the most part, you're going to be happy with it because it's a Fractal case, straight up. Let's see. What are your feelings on dyeing your hair white? Well, I don't have any feelings on it right now because I don't plan on dyeing it white anytime soon unless something dramatically changes in the sub count. Of course, around 500C or 500,000 subs, that's when the hair dyeing will happen. So we'll see here. What was that, Will? I needed to say something on Twitter.
No, maybe the giveaway could just be.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I like that. Okay, so do we have the tweet for the live stream starting on Twitter? Yeah, so send out a tweet if we don't already have one. So that'll be the way you guys can enter. So if you have, and that kind of limits people to just Twitter, though. But I don't want them to feel like they only have to have Twitter to enter this giveaway. No, we'll split it. We'll split it. So we'll do 45 here. We'll just use PayPal, and then we'll do 45 on Twitter. So if you want 2 chances to enter, I mean, if you're in the chat, that's already good. But your second chance to enter, go to Twitter and retweet whatever we're about to show on Twitter regarding the live stream. Just retweet that, and there's your entry. So 45 bucks. It's still a decent sum of cash, and you can thank Fractal Design for that donation that I did not expect. That was super cool of them. Have you noticed a trend in games using more CPU than before? I used to get CPU limited with an i5-3550. Changing it out to an i7 brought my FPS up by 35%. So that's actually kind of been the norm lately. I did a test where I checked Pentium performance against i3, i5, i7 performance using a GTX 1070 or 1080, I want to say. And I have a video discussing how frame rates scale as you increase cores and threads with hyperthreading in the case of Intel. So that video, if you Google it, how many cores do you need for gaming, I think is the name of that video. But that'll answer that question for you, at least graphically. Let's see. Do you play CSGO? If so, what rank? Nah, I tried playing CSGO and I suck. Like, I'm so bad. So no, I'm not even ranked. That's just not possible. Let's see. When do you think RAM prices will stabilize? I haven't done enough research on that yet. I just know it's been pretty crappy lately. Like, you can buy a 16 gig kit right now for what, over $100, and I'm pretty sure a year ago you could buy the same 16 gig kit for like, what, 60, 70 bucks. I mean, like an 8 gig kit, which was the standard 4 years ago, was $40. You know, now it's twice that. It's pretty ridiculous, and it comes just with the territory. All these different memory manufacturers, Samsung, Micron, working on the new 10 nanometer architecture, and that's shorting the supply in a nutshell. Again, just kind of like summarizing here, but that's what's keeping prices up, because there is not as much of it being supplied by the manufacturers. Let's see, you have, Will, we have 6,666 tweets on Twitter. Can you confirm that?
That's exciting.
Can you confirm that? If so, just post like...
6,667.
Oh, okay, good. All right, we just added another tweet to that. That's the one they should retweet, right?
Correct.
Okay, all right. So for those of you who want to have a chance to win the other $45 that we're going to give away from Fractal's donation in the live stream, then go over to Twitter and retweet the latest tweet on our page. It's not the one that's pinned up top. It's the one underneath that. Retweet the one regarding the live stream, and there you go. You'll have a chance to win 45 bucks. Hey, that's not bad. 45 bucks for just retweeting something, and chances are, I mean, we only have 500 or so people watching the live stream, so your chances are going to be pretty high of winning that. So even if you don't have Twitter, you still might have a chance to win if you comment in the chat. OnePlus 5, your daily driver now, or just testing for review? So I actually originally wanted to only test the phone, but I've kind of fallen in love with it, and it actually is my daily driver now. My S7 is back in its box, if that tells you anything. And my S7's battery life went to crap, so I'm really happy to have a phone that lasts a full day now. Yeah, I know. Cool. Let's see. Excuse me. What are you talking? Who are you talking to? So I got Will over here. So Will is Will. You're actually like still looking at my screen, aren't you? Should I turn that off? Yeah, it's a little bandwidth on that. Let's see. I don't have the best internet here, but it's okay. We're kind of leeching off of Will's stellar internet connection and a pretty sweet multi-streaming platform. So what do we have here? YouTube, is his Twitter. I don't know what that was in context. Are you against people who use Apple products? No, because I use Apple products, champ. I use a MacBook Pro 13-inch. Look, I like to at least experiment. I want to know why people feel the way they do about certain products, and that's why I use them. That's why I bought $2,000 worth of Apple products about a year ago, because I wanted to know what it was like to have just a bunch of Apple products in this cohesive Apple ecosystem. And I actually confirmed that in later videos that, yeah, I was really impressed with how versatile all of them were. They're not friendly to outside products. If you don't have an Apple product and you want to kind of incorporate that into your sphere of mobile devices, it's not going to be very friendly, but that's Apple for you. Everything's proprietary. Let's see. Do you think Vega is worth buying? I have a video on that, Mr. TTT10TTT. Yep, that's another interesting name. Yeah, video regarding Vega and my conclusions. I don't have my 56 benchmarks up yet, but the conclusions are basically the same. Apple is why, let's see, Apple's why you got no money. Ha! Good one. Yeah, but I seriously, I buy all of my Apple products. I don't have a sponsor that sends me Apple stuff. What do you hope of, what do I think of the iPhone 8? What do I hope the iPhone 8 will be? Honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna have to buy it. It's like the Note 8. People keep asking me what I think about the Note 8, and I never got a Note 8, but I watched a bunch of reviews about it just recently, because I didn't watch them when they first came out, but I've been looking at how people are responding to the Note 8. I watched some other pretty famous YouTubers out there who were just giving kind of mixed signals about it, like what things they did like, things they don't like, how it's almost exactly the same as an S8, save a few tweaks because it's the Note, but not too interesting in my opinion. The iPhone 8 will probably catch my eye a bit more than that does. What's my favorite movie? Oh gosh, favorite movie ever? That's a tough one. My favorite movie. Man, these like questions that are so like they require so much thought. I'm gonna say, I just heard something go off. I don't know what, there was like a notification. I'm gonna say probably, I really like Dante's Peak. That's a really good movie. And that was with Pierce Brosnan and I forget her name. She was the one who starred in Terminator as well. I don't remember her name. But that was a really cool movie. And I did a lot of stuff regarding geology in college, so I like learning about all that good stuff. Let's see. Still going to try to get him to see my question, though. What's up, Enoch Lindemann? I missed your question. You have to just post it again. Let's see. What do you think about the LG V30? Still haven't checked that out. Look, I don't review smartphones or, like, look in detail about, specs or any of that unless I know I'm going to have a phone in my hand to review. Otherwise, I'm not going to waste my time. So I would have to have a V30. I don't have a V30, but when I have one, if I have one, then I'll be sure to let you know what I think in a video. i7 7700K or R7 1700X if money isn't an issue. It really just depends. If all you're going to do is game, the 7700K is still the superior gaming CPU, but the 1700X is the better all-around CPU, especially for the price. I would say it's probably a bit more future-proof. Most of the time, I would advocate for the 1700X. In favor of multitasking, at the slight disadvantage of frame rates, you will have maybe a 10 to 15% reduction in frame rates with the 1700X. But I mean, is that, well, maybe not 10%. Depends on what frame rate you're natively gaming at. Let's see. How much do you love RGB? Not that much anymore. I used to be so big on it, but it's just, I usually just set my RGBs to one color and make it monochromatic. Let's see. I have a 1440p 144 Hz monitor and a GTX 970. Should I wait for Volta AMD equivalent to be worth it, or maybe hold out until after that? Dude, I don't know. Like, these questions are always kind of open-ended. Like, it just depends on how patient you are, man. Like, there's always going to be something better coming out at some point. Just do what you feel like you need to do. If you want the boost in frame rate and resolution and in-game graphics, then upgrade soon. If you don't care, just wait, save your money. When do you think DDR5 RAM will launch? Not sure. Haven't done my research on that. I just haven't been that interested in it, frankly. Should I stop being lazy and apply to university for comp sci? Probably. Look, I mean, it's harder to do something than to not do something, right? So you should do the harder thing in favor of just being productive and maybe making your life easier in the future. Let's see. Do you play on consoles too? Used to play on consoles, but not so much anymore because I have a PC now, and PCs are superior. When are you building a Hackintosh? Sometime soon, man. Look, I see all the mess some of these people have to go through to get freaking Mac OS 10 on their PCs, and I just don't know if I'm up for the task. Let's see. Cash giveaway. What is this? Yeah, the cash giveaway. So if you're commenting in the chat, congratulations, you're entered in the cash giveaway. If you're under the age of 18, just have a parent or guardian represent you, use their email, and use their whatever to their identification. Let them represent you, basically, so you can receive that money just for legal reasons. And then also retweet the tweet on Twitter that everyone's retweeting regarding the live stream, and that's your chance to win another $45. All this from Fractal Design, by the way, which surprised me. That's kind of how we were last minute working on getting that money distributed. Let's see. Which AIO do you prefer? Kraken X52 or Alpha Cool Ice Bear 240? I haven't tested the Alpha Cool. Is that how you say it? Ice Bear? I'm just going to say Ice Bear. I'm sorry if it sounds stupid. I've tested the Kraken X62, though, not the 52. Same thing, just a smaller rad. And I can say that I really like the Kraken series. So it really just comes down to cost and cooling performance there. Is adaptive sync really worth it? Like what, asynchronous compute? I have a video on that. I don't know. Asynchronous compute, adaptive sync. I don't even know. I don't know about that. I'll have to look that up. Any plan for a car video? Yes, soon. Not many people are into the car stuff. Like the people subscribe for tech, computers and whatnot. So that would be most of my content would be about that. Let's see. Greg, when will the H7 Quad Lumi review come out? Been here since 10K. Thanks, Breaking Ryan. That will be coming out soon. So what I'm going to have to do is rip this cooler back out of the PC and get some sweet B-roll, and then I'm going to run some tests on the 7900X in here. The reason why I'm using this right now and not the Ryzen build is I'll talk about that in a separate video as well. But basically, temps were getting a little too high on the fluid. Fluid was getting to like 60C, which is like borderline for a D5 pump. And when the fluid gets that hot, it's not capable of cycling as much of the heat from the CPU, GPU heat sources to the radiator to be dissipated, from the rad, because the temperature differences are not stark. They're not extreme differences. So the ability for the fluid to exchange heat from the CPU to the radiator was being hindered because I had my fan curve set too low. Like the pump was spinning full speed, but I just don't like having really high fans in a custom loop build. That just kind of defeats the purpose there. So that's why I'm not using it right now. I'm going to have to reconfigure that build. I'll be using Ryzen again once I fit another custom loop into that. I might even do a Threadripper build, depends. That's probably something we're going to work with Be Quiet regarding. Flood of stuff here. We got, what part of Florida do you live in? I'm curious how close I am to you. I live in the panhandle of Florida, somewhere between Destin, Florida and Tallahassee, Florida. You can check a map to figure out how close you are to me. Are you Latin? Your last name sounds Latin. My last name is Spanish, so from Spain. That's where my dad's side of the family's from. So Salazar is a Spanish last name. Do you think graphics cards will drop in price or keep increasing? They're going to drop soon. They're going to drop, and they're already dropping. You can get a 1080 for around or even under, in some cases, $500, which was roughly where they were before the mining craze took off, Ethereum and whatnot. Do you watch Naruto? No, my brother does. My brother watches all the anime stuff. All the anime stuff you guys are probably going to ask me about, he watches all of that. I just never got really into them. Do you think Inwin cases are worth it? I've never reviewed an Inwin case. I think they're unique, but I've just never gotten a review sample from them. We tried reaching out at one point, and it just wasn't super prompt, so we don't have any of those reviews on the channel, to be frank. But maybe someday soon. I think they look cool. They're unique looking. I don't know. I can't really speak too much about them because I haven't built in one. What are your thoughts on Intel's 8th generation lineup of CPUs? I love the fact that an i3 potentially outperforms an i7 from the previous generation. Look, we've been giving Intel a bunch of crap regarding IPC boosts from generation to generation, basically all the way back to Ivy Bridge or so. I mean, Haswell to Skylake, what, 4%? Skylake to Kaby Lake, another 4 to 6%. It's just not all that exciting, and that's why people have been waiting so long for AMD to take off with Ryzen, and they kind of have, and for good reason, by the way. But I don't know. This is looking pretty good. 8th gen's looking pretty good from the blue team. When can we see another cover that Les Paul wants to be seen, heard? Maybe someday soon. I have a couple people wanting me to do something like that again. I'll just maybe intro a video with a riff or something like that. Completely wireless PC. How would you transmit roughly 300 or 400 watts to a PC from? That'd be crazy. You have to use like a Tesla coil. Ooh, science. Let's see. Oh, we got a donation from Virility Custom PCs. He's doing his first water cooling build in a Define Nano S, and he really wants to use a 480 radiator, but it won't fit inside. Oh my god. Okay, so this is Really Custom PCs, excuse me, Really PC Customs. That is Tony, okay? Tony is the guy that I've done a few videos with, or that I've talked a bit about. He's done a lot of stuff for us on the channel. I even saw him in St. Louis for a LAN fest they had over there. But he does a bunch of really cool, unique stuff with his channel. I want to give him a plug, not for the money, but because he's a cool dude. And he really does go out of his way to help me whenever I have a question, and I really do appreciate that. So that right there, though, that reply from Tony, the $10 donation, that is literally him in a nutshell. Okay, he's serious on his channel. He'll tell you a lot of cool stuff, show you a lot of cool stuff, but he's a really funny dude. That's awesome. DeathBat6916, thanks for the $5 donation. Says, I was barely breaking 45 in AC Syndicate and how do you say that? I've actually never even played that game, but I've heard a few people say that game differently, like Deus Ex or something. MD and almost maxed out in the Division. Now they run like a dream on the i7, 60 FPS plus. What was your CPU before that? I don't remember. I think you said it was like an i5 locked or something, if that's the same person. But yeah, look, an i7 is going to be like your best situation right now for gaming, but that's just it. It's really only going to be your best situation for gaming. But yeah, I mean, that's not surprising. You could put last gen NVIDIA or AMD cards in a system with an i7 and still get decent frame rates. Excuse me. Do you think Ryzen 1600, whoops, I just lost that question. Whoever asked something about the Ryzen 1600, I'll just assume you were asking about its viability. It's one of the best CPUs on the market, hands down. And I said that in my 1600 review video. Let's see here. Ooh. Yeah, $2 donation. Cool. $2 donation from Breaking Dimes. For some reason, he's not showing up top. I guess it already went away. What? So $2 donations don't show up for very long? That's stupid. Any donation should. Can you recommend in good cases under $100? So I did a head-to-head mashup of the NZX TS340 Elite and the P400S. Those are two really good cases you should consider. I also have done a review on the Meshify C from Fractal Design, which is also a really good case. I would say it's neck and neck between this and the two ones that I mentioned before that. Look, Fractal cases, I'm gonna give you in a nutshell my view on mid-tower cases. Mid-tower cases, first and foremost, are probably the best form factors for PC builds, just because you can do so much with them. Full towers are a little too big for me. I don't want furniture. I just want small furniture. And ITX, MATX cases are a little too small for most people. MATX is cool, it's unique, but space is usually a concern, especially if you want to do something cool like a custom loop in one of those. So Fractal Design, Meshify C, or the Define C with the tempered glass, that case not only looks beautiful, it's affordable. Both of them are affordable, under $100, or the Meshify C is under $100, and cable management is just a dream. It is just so easy to cable manage in a Fractal Design case. It really is. Even in like their ITX cases and whatnot, like there's still so much room to work with in their cases. So that's a big plus for me. Just makes the build experience go by so smooth. NZXT, I think, offers the most unique looking case in the sense that it's probably the most clean in a sense, and it does allow you to show off some cool components, like if you have a cool looking SSD or something, or want to show off, I don't know, just like the inside of your case. Like the S340 Elite is going to give you that tempered glass, and it's going to give you out of that. What I really like is like when the case outside matches the inside color. So a white case, white inside, white interior. That looks really cool. That's why I like the white NZXT S340 Elite. And then the P400 is just like a really custom loop friendly PC. There's a lot more space in that than there is in the S340 Elite, and there's a bit more space in the S340 Elite than there is in the Fractal Define C, Meshify C. So it really just depends on what you want to do. But that's my summation of like cases there. American Cosworth, appreciate the dollar donation, man. I'm sorry if I missed anyone else above that. I'm sorry that I was talking for so long there. Kind of didn't see any questions. Let's see. Couldn't agree more about the fractal cases. Yeah, the guy. It took me a while to get into fractal design because I was into the more ostentatious stuff. I said this in my Meshify C video, but I've really come to appreciate just the clean look of fractal cases and how easy, like, if you haven't built in one, you have to do it at some point to know exactly what I'm talking about here. And anyone else who's built in a fractal case like this form factor, smaller, even bigger, will tell you the same thing. Just a breeze to build in. Let's see. Do I have to donate to get you to answer my questions? No, but there are many, many people asking questions here. So unless you want me to multiply myself by 50, it's going to be difficult to answer everyone's questions. Let's see. I got to scroll down to the bottom here, close to the bottom. I don't know why, but my phone can be dry all day. But as soon as I... Oh, that's good. As soon as he watches porn, everybody calls him and asks him what he's doing. Why? Love the work. Appreciate that, Mel. Thanks for the laugh, man. Yeah, it's just perfect timing. It always tends to be perfect timing when it comes to stuff like that. When's the next gosh diddly dang Craigslist video? I've actually got one filmed, and Tony from Virility PC Customs helped me film that one. He's actually a guest in that video. So we'll have that video up probably tomorrow because Saturdays tend to be pretty big for just funny videos like that, so we'll see if we can get it up by then. Is RGB worth it? Sure. Is the AMD Athlon X4 845 and a GTX 1050 a good budget build? Yeah, I would try to bump that CPU up maybe a tier or two, or generation or two. The X4 is just not the most recent, and your IPC jump from that to Ryzen is going to be substantial. So try, if you can, to go Ryzen and keep that GTX 1050 in there. Let's see, 7700K or wait for Coffee Lake? These questions are kind of vague. Like, if you need a PC now, buy the 7700K. If you want to wait and you can wait. I mean, I think it'll pay off if you don't need a PC right now. Let's see. Can I see the doggo? I don't know where she... Oh, no, she's under the bed. Oh, hey, Misty, baby girl. Come here, Misty. No, she's asleep right now. She's under the bed, like, just, like, sprawled out sideways. So, let's see. How was Germany? Germany was super cool. It's a super beautiful country, and I will be going back very soon. I really enjoyed that trip. Let's see. Can you recommend a good gaming laptop for under $1,000? I haven't owned a gaming laptop for under $1,000. Haven't even reviewed one, frankly, although I am familiar with many of their specifications. I would say Asus makes a really good one on Amazon. It's like $800, and it comes with a GTX 960M, something like that. It might even be cheaper now because they have the new gen stuff coming out. But like a year ago, that was a really good buy because it came with a dedicated graphics processor and a 1080p display and stuff, and a decent CPU if I'm not mistaken as well. I think it was a true quad core. I don't know what it was called. But yeah, I don't do too much with mobile laptops right now. Mobile laptops with laptops. I would like to though. I really would like to. Let's see. Dark YouTube doesn't show chat. That blows. Is the text the same color as the background? Because if so, that would be hilarious. Let's see. Best AM4 ATX motherboard? Well, it depends. What, for the price or just in general? There's some pretty good AM4 boards out there that just from like an objective standpoint, I really am a fan of the ASRock X370 Tai Chi board. It's a beautiful board, and it's got excellent dev support when it comes to UEFI updates. And if you're looking for a good budget motherboard, the MSI B350 Gaming Plus or Gaming Pro, one of those models, I reviewed that on the channel as well. That's a good budget-oriented AM4 board. What gives you the motivation to continue making videos? So I'll be frank, it's a job, right? Like if I stop making videos, I'm not going to really make money, so I'll have to do other things. So like I kind of have to work, right? So this is a job to an extent, but it's a job that I really enjoy doing, and that's why I hopefully can keep doing this. And the only way I can keep doing this is if I have the support of all of you. So those watching the live stream especially, you guys have gone above and beyond to make this channel what it is, because you're willing to go out of your way to watch a live stream that you know won't be live in an hour or so. So thank you for that. Let's see here. What do we have? Would you make a video praising the i3 7050K if Intel gave you stupid money? No. And even if they did, I tell you what, if Intel came to me and said, "Hey, we want to pay you, I don't know, insert big figure money here to promote the i3 7350K," I would probably make a video talking about how Intel tried to get me to say that. I would probably just expose their like just sneakiness. You know, Intel would never do that. They would never say, "Hey, like promote the product we're gonna give you money for." That's a paid review, and that's pretty sneaky if you ask me, and pretty dirty. So I don't think Intel would do that, hypothetically speaking. But if they did, if any crooked company wanted to pay me to say only good things about their product, then I would probably just make it public. I would say, "Hey, this company's pretty shady, and they don't really have much faith in their product." What does that tell you about the faith in their product? If they know they need to pay you to say good things about their product, they probably don't think it's very good. Well, there you go there. Rick Perry, $5 donation. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That is awesome of you. Science Studio, 8050K beats i7. Yeah, I know. That's pretty serious. If that is the case with 8th gen Intel, yeah, we're talking some serious performance gains. That would be awesome. Gordon Mosher, I own an Entho Entho Evolved Micro ATX tempered glass. It's a good case. I own the mini ITX version of the Evolve tempered glass. Was it tempered glass? No, it was just a regular acrylic panel. Wondering in my custom loop if I have a 140mm rad rear and a 280 rad front intake, is that the right setup? I have an R7 1700 and twin Vega 56s. So yeah, I mean, as a general rule of thumb, you want to keep it to at least one small rad per component in your per major component. So graphics cards, CPUs, I recommend keeping at least one 120 for the CPU or one 140. I mean, look, you can take an AIO 120 and cool a CPU, right? You might not get the most stellar overclocks, but you can do it. Same with the graphics card. So take that analogy or that example and apply it to your radiator config. So if you have a 240 up front, you set a 280 up front and a 140 at the rear, that's a 140mm rad essentially for each of the three components in your system. Vega 56 runs pretty hot. I wouldn't try to push overclocks too much unless you undervolt and do some tricky things there. But, I mean, they should be fine with that config. I don't think there's any red flag there, at least. Oh, McTrollington. A $15 donation. I appreciate that. Thank you, my man. First time on your live stream, must donate. Dude, this guy right here, that's a true champ. I appreciate I really do. I appreciate you guys' support. Even if you're not donating, you're just watching the stream. It's really awesome. And it's encouraging for me. I mean, it gets me excited because I know you guys are interested in the same stuff I am. That's what the channel's all about. Now, let's see. Just a Duck says, "Hey, Greg, I don't have any money to donate, but keep up the great work. Always love your videos more than the bigger channels. P.S. Best cheap mid-tower for black-white build. And the Z270 motherboard. Best cheap mid-tower, cheap. What are you talking cheap? Like 50, 60 bucks or like $80, $90? Because, I mean, cases go up to like $200 and higher than that. That's a tough one. Jeez. Black and white? Vantex makes a pretty cool black and white case, P400. Actually, there's another case coming out soon, the P300, which will be a bit cheaper if I'm not mistaken. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. American Cosworth says, for $5, dude, awesome. Thank you for the $5 donation, man. AMD APU hopes beyond the AM4 AMD A129000 potential for a single board mini ITX gaming rig. Yeah, not too sure yet on the performance of their new AM4 APUs, but it would be pretty sweet if all you had to do for 1080p gaming was drop a CPU, or APU for that matter, into a motherboard and just call it a day. No dedicated graphics card, no discrete graphics needed, just an APU. That would be awesome. I'm kind of doubting that, but that would be pretty awesome. So we'll see. And hopefully I can get my hands on some of those CPUs to test the viability of those. Rick Perry, $2 donation. Thanks, Rick Perry. Appreciate that. Let's talk stiff. $2. Are you a wrestling fan? I'm not a wrestling fan. I have a few friends that are. It's pretty big in the South, but I just can't get into I'm gonna be frank, it's a little cheesy for me. I mean, like, even if you don't tell me that it's fake, I'll still know just because some of it's pretty obvious. You know, like you think they would work on their camera angles a bit and like maybe show hits from behind where you can't tell if they're just like grazing them or not. But that's how I feel about wrestling. I just can't get into the fact that it's not actually real, most of it anyway. The guy, 6020665, $20 donation. Thank you. Did not want to be beaten out by someone named Troll McTrollington. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you. I guess that's an interesting way to look at it. But thank you for your donation again, your support. Let's see. The writing in the wrestling is horrible these days. Yeah, it just all comes across as too cheesy for me. Brian Spencer, dollar donation. I appreciate that, Brian. Thank you very much for your donation. Scott Deese, so whatever happened to your motherboard with the broken DIMM slot? Did you ever replace the board? I haven't actually contacted them yet, but I did take that CPU, put it in another Z270 board, and all 4 slots worked fine. So those suggesting that it was just a channel dead in the CPU, that's a valid assumption, and that was, I guess, not the case because the CPU is working fine on the other board. So I'm not really sure why that one channel on the board actually died, but that's the gist of it. I have to contact them and get a swap. I haven't done that yet. Deathbat6916, $5 donation. Thank you, guys. Jesus, thank you for this. I was on an i5. Yeah, that's right. He was on the i5, locked i5, and that thing was too underpowered for even the 1050 Ti for what I played. That's pretty insane, not gonna lie. But look, I mean, that's just some games nowadays. Yeah, I think you're right. What you said earlier. Games are now starting to leverage more cores. Look, if CPUs mainstream have 4, 6, 8 cores, like Risin's starting to do now, and what it seems like Intel's going to do with their 6-core lineups, if that's mainstream, developers are going to take advantage of those extra cores. What you do, though, if you're a developer, at least in a nutshell, if you're going to optimize a game for 6 cores, you're hindering the performance of those who only have dual-core CPUs and quad-core CPUs. So there's an incentive to not optimize for more than X number of cores because most of the general consumer, like just your demographic, most of them are going to have dual or quad core chips. And so you don't want to keep them held back because they're using older or just inferior architecture. So it's hard to get developers to move on to the best, the latest and greatest because not a lot of people, at least in the beginning, move on to the new stuff right away. They either can't afford to do it, or the parts just aren't available in their countries, or they just don't feel like they need to because devs are going to be on board with them. So that's kind of why developers really, I mean, there's kind of a fine line there. Some developers just say, hey, we'll optimize for as many cores as you give us. Some of them will hold back for the sake of keeping the majority of their audience happy. Let's see here. Whoa. Russell Kasem, appreciate the $10 donation, man. I've always appreciated your approach to technology and how you present it. Thank you. It inspired me to try my own custom loop, and it turned out fantastic. That's for what you do. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I'm glad that it turned out all right for you. Let's see. Saul said, why 2 names? I don't know what you mean by why 2 names. What do you mean I have 2 names? I didn't know that. Mick Funpants, $10 donation. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, Greg, thanks for retweeting my white hair Photoshop. This was the guy who did it. So at 500K subs, I said that I would dye my hair white. And that's, I guess, what you guys are going to hold me to now. We'll see if you remember. And so this guy right here, Mr. Mick Funpants, with his $10 donation, was the person who generated what it would look like in a picture if I had white hair. It kind of looked like Jay from Jay's 2 Cents, not gonna lie. It was a little freaky. We looked like brothers there. So I don't know if I'm okay with that. We'll have to talk to Jay about it, see if he's okay with it. What are the odds that you think you'll like the way it looks? I mean, I might. I don't know. Picture me with white hair right now. I'd probably look 20 years older, and I'll just get really angry at my neighbors when they, touch my lawn. Let's see, what else do we have here? Hey, dude, I bought a GTX 1060 WindForce for $350. Then I found out the GTX 1060 do I have to get the WindForce, or is it the same? I don't know that. I don't even know what's going on there. What was the question? I mean, it's 1060. Like, they're going to be different AIBs. whatever different variants of the same card. Just check overclocks. That's really where you'll see the difference. Please make a video on Thunderbolt 3 external graphics card for laptops. Please, 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 please. I'll try that. I will. And I have an XPS 13 where I can try that. Should work out well. I just need to get a GPU enclosure to test. I want Volta and 8th gen Intel to come now. Yep, so do I. And actually, see, the way this is going to work, you're going to have... you're going to have this new stuff come out, and then you're going to be like, oh, but I'm going to wait for the next stuff to come out, the new architectures to come out. And it's just an endless cycle. It's how people make money. It's how corporations make money. How did you get into working with PCs? I built my first PC. I built my first PC. I've used PCs growing up, but like I built my first PC 3 years ago to help with my edits when I first started the channel, when I was just doing sciencey stuff. And then people really wanted to see more PC stuff. So I said, okay. And I started doing more PC related stuff. Let's see, what do we have here? Are you a Rick and Morty fan? I've got to admit, I'm actually not, and it's just because I've never watched it. People talk, like, it's kind of like Game of Thrones. I don't watch Game of Thrones because everyone talks about Game of Thrones, and I'm just like, I'm going to purposefully object to it and not follow suit because everyone else is. I'm just like that. Like one guy who doesn't want to be the follower. And I'm kind of like that with Rick and Morty because all my friends talk about how good Rick and Morty is and I just haven't sat down and watched an episode. I'm sure once I do, I'll be hooked. That's how it usually is. Mr. Stereo 55, $5 donation. Thank you for that. Been building PCs for 25 years and I still find myself learning something on your channel. Great content and presentation. Thanks a ton. I appreciate that. Thanks for being humble, man. Like a lot of this stuff, when I make these videos about IPS versus AMOLED or whatever, it could be anything, DirectX 11 and 12 or how a CPU works. Most of the stuff I have to learn before, I have to learn on site before I make the video. I have to do my own research, my own due diligence to the topics at hand before I publish the content because I don't want to publish stuff that's not true, obviously. And so that's why at the end of every video I say thanks for learning with us. I say us because I want to include me because I learn too when I make these videos. And that's what I want everyone to know. I'm not trying to act like I know all this stuff beforehand because I don't. Most of it I don't know beforehand. I just like to learn about it. And that's in most cases why these videos show up on the channel. What do we have here? Another donation, $6.66. Okay, I'm not going to question that, but thank you for the donation, Mr. Truckerbomb. I'll send you my own Inwin 303 if you want to do a review on it. You know what? I might take you up on that, man. I actually might do that. I think that the 303 is a pretty cool looking case, and it is probably the first one I would ask for a review sample of if I contacted Inwin. So I might take you up on that. Send me an email. My business emails in the on YouTube. Go ahead and send me one. Send me a business email if you're serious about it. Let's see. What kind of cooling would you recommend for a silent and cool build? You can honestly build a silent PC. Uh-oh, she's barking. Misty's barking. What's going on? Oh, you guys want to see the dog now? I'll go get her. You guys wanted to see her, right? Here, come here, Misty. Misty, come here. Come here. Hey, come here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's the fur ball. Hey, look at her. Look right there. Look into the camera. You see them? Do you see all those people? Yeah. There's all those people. So there you go, folks. There's the doggo. Yeah. You guys were asking for her little cameo in today's live stream. There she is. She is a Wolf Sable Pomeranian, by the way, for those who were wondering. She's got a little temper though. She's a little spoiled, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. Hey Greg, what do you think of the Nikon D3300? If I'm not mistaken, the 3300 is a 60 FPS camera. That was like the first of the 3000 series Nikon cameras to implement 1080p 60 FPS progressive filming. So that would be pretty decent. Like it doesn't have the best sensor and it's not going to film the best. I would say for around a couple $100 more, try your best to get something like a G7 from Panasonic. That's a really well-regarded camera for the price, and sometimes it's on an amazing sale. So look for that one. What do we have here? What do you think of Ryzen Threadripper? I think for most people, they're not going to really take advantage of all of the CPU's offerings, of the 1950X especially. Like, look, if you can find a game that'll fully utilize 10 cores, or even remotely come close to utilizing 10 cores, then show me, because I don't know what that game is. So for gamers, doesn't really make much sense. For hardcore streamers, if you're doing a lot of like developing and stuff in the background while you're gaming, while you're streaming, while you're streaming YouTube and a bunch of other stuff too. I don't know. I really don't think 10 cores are necessary. You'll be extra future proof, but for most people, look, a 1700 or a 1700X is just as good. You won't tell much of a difference at all. Do I like VR? Yes, I love VR. I was really impressed with how well the HTC Vive was handled gaming, just performance in general. Like I hooked up a system similar to this one and like just PC power wise, and it was so fluid, so good. You got to have a beefy computer to back up the frame rate needed. I think for humans, for like up close viewing, 90 FPS I want to say is what you need to not get like a serious headache, because your eyes will see the choppiness of 60 FPS up close especially. So there's like fur floating. Thank you, Misty, for all the fur. But it's worth it. I really think it's worth it. Eventually, I'll buy one. I'll buy one soon. Do you think an RX 580 plus 1700X would beat a GTX 1070 R5 1400 in gaming? That's tough. It depends on the game, I would say. It really depends on the game and how much of the CPU that game leverages. For most cases, I would say you're better off with an RX 580 7700K. Just my 2 cents, only because the R5 1400 might not cut it for some games. It just depends. I don't know. I like the high clock speed of the 7700K there. Let's see. What 144 Hz monitor would you... Something about 144 Hz monitor. What would you think about 144 Hz monitor for whatever price? I'm going to be reviewing one soon from a company called Viatech, I want to say. They're sending one. It's only like a $300 panel, but it's a 1080p panel, 144 Hz for what, 300 or so bucks? Not a bad deal. So I'll be reviewing that soon to answer that question in full. 6-pack? Actually, yeah, I do have a 6-pack. What do we have here? From Marketing, I think I said that right. My friend's 7700K stock reaches high 70 degrees with a Be Quiet Pure Rock. Temps spike up quick, by the way. Normal, I would say it's probably just a crappy thermal interface between the heat spreader atop the die and the die itself. Delete your CPU, man. I know you shouldn't have to do that with a CPU that you buy from a company like Intel, but that's seriously what I would do to fix the heat issue. What's up, AU boy? He said Greg. All I saw was AU boy, but he said Greg. Maybe that's someone I know. Why aren't GTX 90 Ti prices not going down? That's a pretty bad deal. They used to be pretty low. They used to be cheaper than 1070s, and 1070s were almost identical in terms of performance. They were just a bit more conservative on power and heat, but I think it's just because of miners, frankly. I would just blame miners. Let's see. Is a 1080 overkill for two 1440p displays? I missed that. I don't think it's overkill, no, if that was your question. Samsung Galaxy S8 or LG V30? I don't know. Haven't looked at the V30. I really haven't. And I haven't reviewed either phone, so I wouldn't know. Bro, I like your shirt. Would you recommend a Hyper 212 Evo? Oh, I can't keep up with these. I'm sorry. I can't keep up with the chat. Let's see. Would you recommend a Hyper 212 Evo or something else? It was something else. I missed it. No, I can't find it. I really can't find it. I'm sorry. I don't know where. Oh, boy. I can't believe that. Let's see. Greg, do you recommend a Studio Softbox light that only supports one light bulb for making videos? I have two softboxes that support 5 light bulbs. It's like a 1,000-watt kit, but I mean, I don't know of one that's just a single light bulb. I don't know. I just got these because they were cheap. I didn't want to pay the extra price for an LED panel. Is a 29-inch ultrawide too small for ultrawide? No. M1 midget. It looks like M1DG3T. And I assume you just go by midget. I have the review of my 29-inch LG ultrawide on the channel, so look that one up on the YouTubes. Let's see. What is your favorite case with tempered glass and good water cooling support? So if water cooling support, like I'm assuming a custom loop, is a priority for you, the P400 STGE is a great option because it has so much room. It's a really long case if you think about it. Even though it's mid-size, it's really long. I would say this is the Meshify C here. It will come out to about here. That's a solid, I don't know how long that is. I would say 4 inches or so. So what, 8, 9 centimeters, a little more than that. That extra space is good for reservoir, good for the extra radiator up front and the fans. You need that space for a custom loop. And in a fractal defined C or Meshify C, it's cutting it really close. There's not too much space here for this custom loop, and that's kind of why I'm on air right now. It's just really difficult to fit all that stuff in there. Let's see. Destiny 2 will use all. Yeah, some games will. It really depends on the game and with respect to CPU utilization. What do we have here? Yo, bro. That was... Who? I don't have this number. Was it AU Boy? Was that... No way. Is that Steven's little brother? No way. Let me know. I gotta find this out. I don't know if it is or not. That'd be weird. A bunch of people that I used to go to school with, they're on the chat. That's really cool. What's your dog's specs? I don't know. She's just like, I would say, running a spoiled 4 gigahertz processor. She's super spoiled, so she needs to cool down a lot. She's really spoiled. She really is. But she's sleeping right now, so she looks cute. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're older than him. I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry. So this is Jonathan Al, okay? And John is older than his younger brother Steven, who I graduated with in college. And Steven joined the National, or not Steven, John, you joined the National Guard, I'm pretty sure, right? I think it was Army National Guard. So yeah, thank you for your service, man. I'm pretty sure you're still there. Or you were there for a while, and I think you're kind of like working into school and stuff, kind of doing both. I don't know. I'll have to catch up with you, man. Which to buy, a Ford Focus RS or a slightly used Audi S3? Bro, I own an Audi, okay? Go with the Audi S3. That's all I'm going to say. Let's see. Do you like miners? Look, I don't blame miners for doing what they're doing. Like, I can't hate them for wanting to make money, okay? And it's not like they're not doing anything bad to us. I mean, really, they're indirectly affecting prices. They're not buying the cards to make the prices go up. I think the people you should be angry about are the people on eBay who are price gouging you, okay, wanting to sell their freaking RX 480s for $550, and some of you idiots will go out there and buy a card for $550, okay? You're enabling them. Don't do that, all right? Don't do that. No matter how bad you think you need the card, it ain't worth $550. That's my take on it. Okay, that's how I see things. Let's see here. Oh, by the way, Will reminded me here. So for those who are new to the live stream, if you want to win a $45 PayPal credit, we're just going to send $45 to 2 people because Fractal Design hopped into the live chat and said, hey, here's $90 for sporting they were just happy that we were sporting a Meshify C, which you can't blame me for. It's an awesome case. But I'm going to go ahead and give that money away to 2 people. So if you're in the chat, one of you is going to win the $45 there. And then if you go to Twitter and retweet the live, like the We're Live tweet on my Twitter page, it's linked in the video description, by the way, then you can have a chance to win another $45 PayPal gift. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool there. Let's see, we got a $5 donation from Dalton Fair. I think you said your name right, Fair. I appreciate the donation. Would you consider doing a build in the Thermaltake Core P7? Excuse me. So yeah, we have a few cool projects coming up with Thermaltake. Thermaltake is actually doing, they have some of the best, sorry, I'm like twisting my armrest here. They have a lot of really cool cases when it comes to water cooling support. They are very custom loop friendly. So I'm actually going to contact them soon about getting a P7 and maybe even something like the View 21 or the View 31, the one that has that really cool like gull wing window. I think it looks pretty unique. So we'll see what we can do there. But yeah, we'll do something with P7 at some point, I'm sure. What do we have here? Make more videos about the Audi. I might do one here or there. I'm going to do probably something else within the next couple weeks. Like, people just don't subscribe for the car stuff, and I actually lose subs sometimes when they see car videos on the channel. Like, they see a car video and they're like, oh, the content's changing, and then they unsub. Like, dude, it was one video of like 100 that I've uploaded. But that's how fickle people are, so that's why I'm kind of antsy about the car videos. But I'll upload one soon. What do we have here? Whoops, I missed it. I don't see any Twitter link in the description. Will, if you're watching, add Twitter, add social media links. Just go to one of my latest videos and copy and paste that stuff into the live stream description. That would be really helpful. Or I'll do it. Just let me know if you're busy. What do we have here? Your favorite gaming mouse and any recommendation for a budget gaming chair. So my gaming mouse of choice, it's just the I think it's KM570. I want to say. No, I'm naming whatever this is from Gigabyte or from G-Skill. But this is a G-Skill gaming mouse, and it's actually a really good mouse. It was a little hard to get used to, like the super sensitive, like high DPI gaming mouse thing, because I used just a cheap mouse for the longest time, but I've fallen in love with it, and it would be probably pretty difficult to switch to anything else. What do we have here? Favorite tech tuber with under 50,000 subs? I already gave a spot to Tony. I think Tony at Virility PC Customs, I think he's got really cool stuff. He does a lot of really cool projects with his channel. So go over to his channel, check his stuff out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. What do we have here? Oh, I see one. Lone2121 says pancakes or waffles? The answer is pancakes. Okay, on to something else. I only unsubscribe to channels that consistently upload videos I don't care about. See, Super Cubio, at least you give them a chance, right? You say, well, okay, here's one video I don't really want to see. If you see it recurring, though, like if I upload just straight car videos for a week and I don't give you guys any notice about it, I wouldn't blame you for thinking the content's changing. Wouldn't blame you. But if I upload one video about a car, about my car, people will unsub. I don't know if it's because like they think that I paid a ton of money for I paid like $20,000 for my car, okay? That's less than people pay for a new Honda Civic, if that tells you anything. But that was the reason some people unsubbed. Some people unsubbed just because it was a car video and they thought content was changing. People are, like I said, really fickle, and it's just frustrating sometimes. I'm a thermal taking pancake shill. Hey, man. I'll be a pancake shill all day long, and you don't have to pay me for it. Why do you have a different PC every week? Do you sell your old stuff? No, I don't sell much stuff at all. I've sold like stuff that companies give me for free. It would be pretty dirty if I turned around and tried to sell that stuff. So usually if I sell stuff, it's just like $20. Like I said, $20 for motherboard, $20 for this case, $20 for this AIO, just because I don't want people to show up and take everything at one time. So I use the price buffer there to keep people from buying everything that I have to sell. But like when I moved from Louisiana to Florida, I sold a bunch of stuff just $20 flat because I didn't want to have to lug it all back home or rent a U-Haul for that matter. How many subs did you lose after the PC winners were announced? I didn't lose too many. I think I lost, it's tough. I think like 250 subs. Of course, I don't know if that's just like, if it's going to be a residual thing or like less and less people will continue to unsub after that fact. But not too many, but people did unsub. And that was it just frustrated me because I know they're only there for the giveaways. And that's why I made the video that I made regarding the fact that some of these people leech off of channels for giveaways and then they leave when they find out that they don't win. That's why we're handling giveaways differently. That video is also on the channel, a recent upload. I missed it. I didn't know you were from Louisiana. I should have given you a degree. No, I went to school in Louisiana, but I'm from Florida. I was actually born in Tennessee, but I've lived in Florida most of my life. Okay, so awesome. Will Humphreys has added the links to the description. So if you want to retweet the live tweet that we just tweeted, that was a lot of tweeting in one sentence, then you have a chance to win another $45 via PayPal. That's USD. So just retweet that. There's your entry. And yeah, get a chance to make some cash. And you can thank Fractal Design for donating that $90 to the live stream. What do we have here? Whoa. What voltage do you run your 6700K at 4.6 gigahertz? I run it at this is going to sound pretty painful, but I run it at 1.4 volts. I think that was the latest voltage I had. I used to be able to run it at 1.38, and then eventually it crapped out on me, went to 1.39, crapped out on me, went to 1.4. That's as high as I'm going. Okay, Intel says 1.52, I think for Skylake is like the extreme maximum before serious stuff starts potentially happening. 1.4 is my cutoff. I'm comfortable with that. Let's see. What are we doing here? What do we have here? Labor Day. Is that this Monday? Labor Day's, is that this week? Oh yeah, September. What is it? Yeah, it's the first Monday of September, I think. I don't remember. Much love, Stevie Martin. I appreciate that. Thanks, Stevie. SLI, waste of money or no? Depends on the game. Some games are not optimized at all for SLI or Crossfire, and some of them really are. I would say in most cases, nah, just buy a single card. That's just how it's going to be. When are you going to change your profile picture on YouTube? Okay, I'll change it soon, all right? But I'm keeping the same theme because Iron Man is awesome. Speaking of which, I want to answer some of the questions that some of the people asked on Twitter. So I'm going to pull up the tweet. Let's see, what do we have here? I'll pull this thing up. And, oh yeah, we got a bunch of retweets on that thing. Awesome, thank you for that. Thanks for participating. Where are we here? Where are we here? I'm looking for the questions. Yep, good. Okay, so some of the questions you all asked. Let's see here, and you never know. Best microphone for YouTubers, I would say Audio Technica AT2020 or AT2035 if you want to buy an XLR system. Okay, that's what I would do. I wish I'd done that sooner. I used a Blue Yeti for a while. That was a decent mic until it broke. What do we have here? Okay, so one of the tweets is, "What's your favorite drink?" My favorite drink is, I mean, other than water, I would say Sprite or like Mellow Yellow. I think that's a pretty solid drink. If you only had $600, what specs would your PC have and why? I don't know. I'd have to sit down and like really think about that because it's really difficult to build a powerful $600 PC right now in the current market. Let's see. Anurag Patel asks, what else are you doing other than YouTube? I am not doing much of anything right now. I'm working on my master's degree, so I'm getting my master's in business administration. So I have my engineering degree from UL. I'm getting my master's from UL. I'm just doing it online so I can stay here in the studio, or what I've turned into a studio of sorts, to bring you all content. So this is my full-time job. I'm just still enrolled in a university working on my master's. Well, okay. Would you ever shave your beard stubble thing? Has this person not seen like me without stubble? I've been clean shaven in many videos. I'm actually gonna respond to that right now. I've been clean shaven in many videos. All right. What do we have here? What do we have here? Do you plan on getting a job in your field? So my field would be what my major was. My 4-year degree was in petroleum engineering. The oil industry right now is not doing too great. They weren't hiring many people. I graduated. I was like the top, like 16 in my class of like 200 or something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out. But I was like in the top 5% at least. And I still didn't get any job offers. Granted, I didn't put many offers out there because I didn't really want to work in the field. I wanted to do this full time. But the industry's not doing too well right now. Can you answer this? That was literally his tweet. Can you answer this? Sure, Ishan Patel. There's your answer. Let's see. What is the future of Vega? Will the price go down? I think it needs to go down, and I think eventually it will go down. Look, prices for everything go down over time, but how soon will Vega's price go down? That's the question. And will it ever? Yeah, it's gonna return eventually at some point to what it was when it was running that bundle thing in the beginning when it was released. Now it's up $100 or so for each card, and that pretty much puts it on par with Nvidia, or a little under par of Nvidia if you consider the power consumption that each card has. Would you buy a graphics card and RAM now, or wait to see what the prices go back down? These, like, would you buy now or wait? It really depends on you. I can't answer that question for you. If you want to wait, wait. If you want to buy now because you need now, buy now. Like, don't, do yourself a disservice by waiting if you really need the tech right now. When do you think the Ethereum thing will go down? Jacoby Games says, I have no clue. I would say within the next 3 months. That's what I'm hoping will happen. Look, graphics card prices are already coming down because most of the people who wanted to buy graphics cards for Ethereum mining bought them earlier on. So the demand has dropped a lot, and that's why the supply is catching up and prices are starting to stabilize. When PUBG wants to put their game on Xbox and it's not even close to being optimized on PC yet. Oh, I don't know about that. Look, PUBG is definitely an alpha game right now. It's like in serious alpha stage, but it's still fun to play, I would say. What processor need for EVGA GTX 1080 SC? I would say get an R5 or an R7. Yeah. You're getting a bottleneck with your i5 6600. It depends on what game you're getting a bottleneck in and at what resolution you're gaming. But if you're gaming in like 1440p or 4K, I pretty much guarantee you your i5 is not bottlenecking your system, unless it's a game that utilizes more than 4 cores and 4 threads. Let's see. What is your favorite mechanical keyboard? I won't say what my favorite mechanical keyboard is, because that's pretty much just preferential. I think G-Skill, Corsair, Cooler Master, they all make pretty solid keyboards. But my favorite key switch, which I will answer, I'm a big fan of Cherries, obviously. And I think it's a tie for me between MX Browns and MX Blues. I think Blues feel phenomenal, but Browns are just a little more subtle. They're just softer, but you still get that actuation feeling. So I think Browns are a solid middle ground, but in terms of just the way that the keys feel, Blue is by far the best for me. Should I invest in a 1080 Ti right now or be patient and wait for the miners to wear off? Oh, gosh, I don't know. I mean, should you? It's a question for you. I'm not you. Do you need one right now or not? If you don't need one right now, wait. If you don't want to wait, buy one now. I can't answer that question for you. Are Windows 10 updates screwing your build too? My main computer is having so many issues with them. Yeah, look, Windows, they push these updates in the middle of stuff that's really important for me, and I really hate that. But not only that, I have noticed in some cases severe frame rate drops as a result of a Windows update. I seriously have. That happened a lot back when Maxwell was still big with NVIDIA and like Haswell was popular. But that was something that I noticed quite a bit, and I'd have to reinstall software. For some reason, that would fix the issue. It's almost like a Windows update would conflict with a driver that was controlling the graphics card. I don't know. I did find that strange, though. I feel like Coffee Lake will dominate Ryzen if the prices are right. Ryzen has bad IPC and single core performance compared to Intel. Ryzen actually does not have bad IPC compared to Intel. You should look that up. Let's see. How many times have you gotten the chicken dinner in PUBG? What is that? What is the chicken dinner? Am I missing something? I seriously don't know what that means. Someone tell me what the chicken dinner means, because I don't know what that means. But I've heard it before in game. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I still have Ryzen. It's actually the PC. The whole custom loop build is right here on the floor. Yeah. Appreciate that. Tamo Rockstar 45 sub to Virility PC Customs. Awesome. I don't think you'll regret your decision. He makes really cool videos. i3-8350K, I've already talked about that. Rewind the live stream. I talked about the 8350K and what I think. Winner chicken dinner. Chicken dinner means winner. Oh, okay. All right. That was stupid. All right. Yeah. So if I've won, no, I've come second before. Second place. I was the second to last person alive, and that frustrated me. I was actually playing with Chris and a few others, people that I just play with. I just started playing with a few people that actually work with in the PC industry. Super cool guys, and that was really fun. We were getting to like top 10, top 20. You know, we always get pretty far, but you'll always find this group of people that they just like, they act like they're real life Marines in game, and they just take us out in a heartbeat. Steam name, can we add you? You can add me, but like I can't accept friend requests from everybody that adds me. It's just not possible to keep up with all the messages and stuff that I would have. But if you want to play games with me, the way that I do that now, if you want to donate like even like $1 to Patreon, then you get access to a Discord server where I can communicate with you directly. We'll play games and stuff like that. I need to do that soon, by the way. Let's see. Would you recommend using an air compressor and blow nozzle for cleaning a PC, or using a can of CO2? I don't know. I just use it as compressed air. Like I don't know if that's really bad for your PC or not. I've just always used compressed air. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I wouldn't use it to like clean stuff out of your keyboard though. There are proper ways to do that. But if you want dust out of your PC, just make sure you're not spitting when you actually like blow air into your case. If you want to just blow into it and get the dust out, or use a proper duster or something along those lines to clean your PC. Why don't I switch to Linux? Because I hate coding. I hate it with a passion. I don't like doing anything related to coding. And Linux is like, you have to code. To even open an application, you have to code. I don't like that. I basically have like a textbook of all the codes that I need to run all the applications I would need to run. And I think that's just a huge waste of time. How well do you think you would do in Scrapyard Wars? Also, it's Jacoby. Oh, Jacoby. Why is it not... Okay, I guess that makes sense. Jacoby. All right, cool. So I'd probably do okay. I don't know. I don't think anytime soon I would be asked into Scrapyard Wars, but I would do okay. I would try to have fun with it. You're supposed to have fun. This is a Gear S3 smartwatch from Samsung. I have a review of it on the channel for Larry, who was asking. Yeah, always spit into your case. Carlos, yep, that's it right there. Carlos, you saw his quote, always spit into your case. That's a surefire way to fix anything. I am making a YouTube channel. Any suggestions for what? Like you want a camera or a light panel or a computer? I suggest spending around $500 to $600 at least on a good camera, and around $300 on a solid audio setup, and that, for the most part, will get you solid production quality. It's going to cost some money, but yeah. Let's see. LO, my dad broke a computer by blowing into it and getting moisture in it. Yeah, that's the concern. Like, if you just blow into a computer, you get spit everywhere, it's just not good. It's not good at all. You or Linus in a bare-knuckle brawl. I don't know. I'll have to talk to Linus about that one. I don't know. I'd like to think I would win. We'll have to ask him what he thinks. I only met him once, ever, and it was a Computex. We didn't really talk much. He was talking to other people. But, yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty narrow frame like I do. We're pretty much the same size. It'd be an interesting battle. Should I get 1080p or 1440p 140Hz monitor with 1080 Ti? Get a 1440p 140Hz. Just do it. I'm very poor. How can I purchase a gaming PC? Um, when I didn't have much money and I was just starting out with PC builds, I bought a PC, built it, sold it for a little more than I bought for it. I'd put like maybe a $50 premium on it, like just for the fact that I built it. But that's all I would do, just tack on like $50 for the build fee. And then I would sell it on Craigslist, take that extra money, build a little better PC, keep working my way up. Believe it or not, that is how I literally got by on the channel for the first 100,000 or so subs. I literally kept buying and selling PC parts, or PC builds. That was just how I worked my way up to the higher end stuff. Because I couldn't afford expensive PC tech either. I was just a college student. Let's see. What do you think of LG Ultrawide Festival? I don't even know what you're talking about. There's a festival for that? Hi, Greg. R3 1200 or FX 8370 for HTPC low 4K. Just keep it cool with an R3 if you're only going to spend 100 or so bucks. Linus would drop me. Eric thinks Linus would drop me in a fight. It'd be interesting. I'd like to see if you were correct about that. Do you think an Asus Strix graphics card would be too heavy for Meshify C vertical mod? Probably not. I don't think so. I mean, as long as you keep like the mesh at the back of the case pretty tight and not like too loose, then the card should stand pretty vertical. It won't sag or anything. Hey dude, I bought a 1060 for $350. Then I found out the 1060 Strix is also $350. So what do I have to do to get the WinForce, or is it the same? They're pretty much the same. Just look at your clock speeds, Captain Games. Look at your clock speeds. I mean, they're gonna cool slightly differently. If you just return it if you want the other one. I don't know what you're asking explicitly. Do you have a Tinder? I do not have a Tinder. I think this is just a weird application. It's just weird. I think Linus is low-key effing psycho. Why? What are you talking about? He does cool, interest. I mean, give him the benefit of it. Like, he does cool stuff. Like, he does stuff that, like, one of his recent videos, like, putting, like, 40 PCIe risers together and then hooking up a video card to one end of it. Like, who would have thought about that? I mean, maybe we all thought about it at some point. We're like, no, there's no way we would spend the time or resources to do something like that. But he did it. Give him credit for that. Even if you think he's running out of ideas, he's doing stuff that you are genuinely curious about. And that's why his view counts are so high with those videos. Let's see. Oh, gosh. Let's see. How do you get by in college when being broke? Scholarships for one. Scholarships paid for a lot of my stuff. Just because I was a pretty good student in high school. I graduated 5th in my class. I had like a 4.6-ish GPA. Had taken a lot of college classes in high school, so those were all free. Hey Salazar, how long do you think a GTX 1070 at 6700B will be viable for? I don't know. Depends on what games you want to play and in what resolution you want to play them. I'd say the next 3 or 4 years, maybe. Just kind of throwing a ballpark number out there. Let's see. Do I like strawberries? Abso-freaking-lutely I like strawberries. What non-tech YouTubers do you watch? I'm trying to think. I usually just use YouTube for music. I'm not gonna lie. I'll like play the same like 10 songs in my music playlist, and that's about it. I like listening to music. Other than that, like funny stuff, I don't know. Like I like to watch funny stuff on YouTube. That's really about it. Funny stuff and music videos. Watching the questions go from technique to personal is hilarious. Yeah, no, it always takes that one guy. He'll ask something super personal that he knows I'll ignore, and then a bunch of people ask super personal stuff. If it gets to that point in the chat, I'll just end the chat because it seems like most of you already have your answers answered already. What are you listening to right now? A lot of Bring Me the Horizon. I like Bring Me the Horizon and Breaking Benjamin. Those are my 2 favorite bands right now. Let's see. Would a G4560 bottleneck a 1060? Again, depends on the scenario. You can't just ask that question like as a blanket statement because it depends on the resolution, depends on the game, and depends on the refresh rate. The higher the resolution, the less your CPU will matter. I'll say that, okay? Was on a GTX 670 till just this past month. Grabbed a 970 for $40. Look at that. Look at that upgrade. That's sweet. Jumped up a couple generations for $40. I bet you reap the benefits of that too. That's a solid upgrade there. Do I think a regular 7200 RPM hard drive cause FPS stutter in open world games? All my linear games work well except GTA 5. Interesting. Check page filing and stuff like that. That could be an issue with hard drives. I'm not sure what else could be causing the issue unless your hard drive is just slowing down. But you say it's just one game? That's a little weird. Why so few choices for Ryzen on ITX? Look, it's an intricate new platform, and think about all the stuff they have to squeeze down into like a small form factor, yeah? It's tough to do. What do we have here? Oh, one of my other friends is watching. Ever made a Hackintosh? Nope. I'm not sure if I want to take the... just, I don't know. Just run with it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do it. I really don't. I don't know if I'm really going to like it once I have it on there. Like, I like my MacBook with OS 10, but I don't know if I'm going to like my desktop with OS 10. That's just weird. I'm curious, what are your opinions on refrigerating water chillers like the one Coolants offers? What? Coolants? I don't even know what you're talking about, Snowdrifter. I'm sorry. I'll have to get back with you on that one. Breaking Benjamin is indeed amazing. KC Reed. I don't know if that's how you're saying your name or not. I'll kind of just wing it. We have here Greg. X.264 versus NVNC. Which one do you prefer for live streaming? I just use, I'm pretty sure it's just on NVNC right now. I want to say that's what it's set to. I didn't pay attention. But that's, if I can help it, that's the one I'll try to go for. Hardware encoding and whatnot. Opinions on iGPUs, APUs. I'll tell you my opinion on APUs once the AM4 APUs are released. How about that one? He still runs an Athlon 2X4 640. Solid. Okay, I like that. Where are you reading these questions? I'm reading all the questions from the chat. That's where I'm reading the questions. My friend was asking where I'm reading questions. They're all on the YouTube chat because I'm live streaming to multiple platforms. So that's why it's all kind of funneling through this live chat here. Answer a couple more questions and we'll call it quits. It's getting pretty late. It's been like, what, an hour and a half or so? So, yeah, we'll call it quits here soon. What's your favorite game? My favorite game? Oh, gosh, favorite game. That's a tough one. I'd say my favorite game right now is... I don't know. All I play right now is PUBG and a little bit of GTA 5 and Black Ops 3. That's about it. My favorite game of all time? Crash Bandicoot. Favorite game of all time. It was Crash Bandicoot. Let's see. He says, do I need an NVMe or just a regular 2.5-inch SSD? Regular SSD will do you fine. You'll see slightly faster load times. Your boot times will be pretty fast on an NVMe drive, but regular SSD is still plenty. Pineapple on pizza? Are you crazy? Okay, pineapple does not belong on pizza. $5 donation from PT Gamer FT Dad. Appreciate that. I think you're a Patreon supporter too, so thank you for the donation. You guys that go out of your way to do that, I really appreciate your support. Let's talk stiff. Go check out Chiodos. All's well that ends well. I don't know what that was. Maybe I just gave like a spot for a channel that is into really shady stuff. I don't know. Whatever. Thanks for the donation again. Let's talk stiff. Okay, a couple more here. What is your main pair of headphones? I use the Corsair Void Pros, which I'll be reviewing soon. These sound beautiful. They look good. They fit decently. I'll be reviewing it soon, like I said. My personal like music headphone set, I have a Bose. I don't even remember what model Bose it was, but it's a Bose wired, not wireless, because I'm not into that sort of thing. Wired noise canceling headset. I reviewed it in a recent video. Okay, what do we have here? Pineapple, black olives, pepperoni make the best pizza. Have crackling ice. That is disgusting. How dare you? What do we have here? Artichoke. That's gross. That's really gross. If Linus asked you to do Scrapyard Wars, would you do it? Yeah, of course I would do it. I think it'd be really fun, but I don't think he's ever going to ask. I don't know why you guys are like... I mean, the answer to the question is pretty obvious, but I don't think that he will ask me anytime soon. If he does, it would be an honor, but I don't think he's going to. Room tour, please. It's just a bedroom. I've done this before, but like my bed looks like trash right now. I didn't make my bed up, but my bed's over there, and then I have a closet with all my tech stuff in it. I have a dresser. I have a nightstand right there that you can see, and then above me is all my trophies from when I was a kid. My mic's mounted up here. PC monitor, this cool like electric bulb thing. I don't remember what it's called. Illumistorm. And I have my Marshall cabinet stack right there. A couple guitars. I mean, that's the room tour in a nutshell, but I don't want to show you how dirty everything is right now. I'm in hardware mode, okay? It's really messy right now. Well, a couple more questions. We'll do a couple more. Don't have the courage to get rid of the headphone jack. Yeah, I don't know. I prefer wired connections. They're consistent. Like, you're not worried about your Bluetooth cutting off or anything like that. Do you play Zelda? No, I actually never played Zelda growing up. You know, that's really strange to say, but I've never played Zelda. I know. Look at that. Firelord Nero says, agreed. Pineapple on pizza is a sin. Attaboy. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks for the donation, by the way. I agree with you. $5, or not $5. I agree with you. Pineapple on pizza is indeed a sin, and you should repent. Can you see RGB fans through the mesh on the fractal case? Yes, you can. Yes, you can do that. The mesh isn't like too thin where it kind of blocks all the light. You can see RGB ring fans and all that stuff through there. Buy new bed. I'll buy a new bed here soon. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I'm too cheap. Let's talk stiff. It's a band. That is all. Cheetos. Chiodos. I'm gonna look them up after this. I'm interested to see what people think about that. What is that science isn't a democracy thing in your thumbnail? Science isn't a democracy. It means facts are facts, and you can't argue with facts. So if you're on the losing side of an argument, it's probably because you can't support your argument with enough facts, because people can't argue with the truth. So if we know something to be true, or when you say something is a theory, right, it's been scientifically proven and replicated in closed experiments, then you can say that, yeah, like I can call it a fact that my phone is going to fall due to gravity, right? That's a inarguable physical thing, right? So you can't debate that. You can't debate about whether or not a phone is going to fall due to gravity, because gravity is always going to be here unless something chaotic happens in the universe and gravity becomes the weaker force to whatever the force is that's subject over it. This is not a democracy. It happens. And there's no sense in arguing that it won't happen because you know that it's going to. So that's why it says that. It's just kind of a bold statement. Fernando Hamanangan. That's a cool last name. Hamanangan. Can you please make a guide on installing dual monitor setups with dual GPUs? One is 1080 Ti and one is a 1050. Interesting. I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to go for there. If you're using two different GPUs, then you're not going to be able to use them simultaneously, and you'll probably have to use a virtual machine, I would say, to get both of those to work the way they should. So you allocate X amount of cores to one computer, X amount of cores to the other virtual machine, and there you go. But you're not going to be able to get two of the same picture by plugging a cable into one or both. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know exactly what you're going for there. It's kind of strange. What is the square root of 144? 12. I did not have to think about that for a second. Yo, I seen you something on Insta, an ad for a PC super expensive and overpriced. Oh, I sent you. Oh, he sent me something. Yeah. So I'm gonna do another one of those where like you guys send me stuff to showcase in a video. Don't worry, I will see most of those. I'll go through them. But I appreciate those contributions because those are pretty funny, frankly. Is this formula correct? T-flops equals boost clock speed. Oh god, I have to go back and check. I don't remember explicitly. But I will say this: teraflops don't necessarily tell the whole story. Okay, like it doesn't. Optimization is a huge part of that, and the way that T-flops are measured depends on the way that the manufacturer decides to do it, and that's why they differ quite a bit sometimes. What does it have? I'll answer one more question. Let's see. One more question, and I'm going to, let's see, I'm trying to pick one. I'm going to pick one. I'm being very choosy here, okay? I want to make sure that I get the right question answered. Oh, we got a bunch of questions. Oh, I can't keep up. Okay. Hola from Venezuela. It's not a question, so I'll answer that. What's up? I think Jorge Morales. How you doing? From Venezuela. Awesome. It's really cool that we have international viewers. I really do appreciate all of you viewing, but especially those who aren't close to me. It's really cool. Texas A&M is better than LU. Gotcha, Red Coleman. It's actually UL, not LU. But my tuition is a lot better than your tuition. It's a lot cheaper. That's why I went there. Just saving money, man. It's all the same education in the end. One more question, as long as you're accredited, which you are. How did you do so good in school? I had no life. I studied quite a bit. Oh, gosh, there's so many questions I want to answer more. What guitars do you have? Cheers from Brazil, Greg. Gabriel Servio. I have two Les Paul Customs, Gibson Les Paul Customs. I have a Fender Strat. I have a Gibson SG. And what else do I have? I have a couple cheaper guitars, but those are the big four. And they are beautiful instruments. What is the best GPU for PUBG streaming and also for editing? Best GPU for streaming? I mean, anything, if you're going to stream in 1080p, just get a graphics card that'll stream in 1080p. That'll let you play the game in 1080p. That's going to be leveraged more on your CPU in that case. Shout out from Canada. What's up, Bernard Joseph? How you doing? Why Radeon continue to change name on products? HDR7R9. I don't know. Ask them. It's just a weird naming scheme. It kind of bothers me. Loyal subscriber. Thanks, Jorge. I appreciate that. Favorite guitar player? Oh, gosh. Favorite guitar player? I'd have to really think about this one. And I want to say like just like Randy Rhoads or somebody, you know, like from Ozzy. I think Randy Rhoads is a pretty sweet guitar player. Very clean, you know. Or the guitarist from Scorpions. I like that guitarist too. What's his name? I forget his name. I can't remember. It's Scorpions, a German band, 1980s circa. The guitarist from Scorpions is a really good guitarist. I can't remember his name. It drives me crazy. Let's see. I have a Squier Strat and a Washburn Maverick. Okay, cool. I know like a lot of people are into like Squiers and stuff. I've just always been a Gibson guy. And I had to have a Fender just because Fender. What do we have here? Stevie Ray Vaughan. Okay. Design your perfect CPU fan. I might, but I probably won't get the physics right now because I don't have the proper testing equipment here. Rudolf Schenker. There we go. Thank you, Mark Connors. Rudolf. That's what I'm talking about. I know Michael Schenker and Rudolf Schenker. Yeah, Michael Schenker was, I think, from he was from like UFO. He was just a different guitarist, but they were brothers and they both played guitar. That's pretty cool. Thanks for answering that for me. I appreciate that. Yeah. Look at God, so many. Yeah, Gibson. That's what I'm talking about. Lord of Mush. What's up? Hey, from Ecuador. How you guys doing? All right. So I appreciate you guys watching the live stream and for contributing, asking questions. I'm gonna try to do this more often. Maybe even get some more tech tubers in on this. Like this is nothing formal. It's not like a serious thing. It's just me getting to talk to you guys and figure out what you want to see, what you want to know about. It gives me more insight into the kinds of videos that I should upload for the channel in the future. So thank you for the questions. I'm sorry there are so many of them here that I just can't answer. So many of you are contributing, and I really appreciate that. Thank you all for the donations as well. JD and Watt, got to do it. $5 donation. Thank you for that. Would you take 30-second look at my channel and tell me what you think? I'll do that. I'll do that right after this. Appreciate that. All right. You guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to get Will over here to terminate the live stream because we're streaming to multiple platforms right now. But, Will, you over there? Will's away. Oh, great. I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to... Oh, no, I can just stop streaming on the OBS. That's cool. I can do that. All right, thanks, you guys, for watching. Thank you for the contributions, and thank you for just being an awesome fan base, for encouraging me, and just keeping this channel alive. I'll talk to you soon in another video. This is Science Studio. Thanks for live chatting with us. I'm going to hit the stop stream button right now. Okay, right now.